What we'll do is probably this is already pre-written for your so that we can share it with you. So what we'll do is like we'll take these and execute in a fresh this thing so that it's not confusing. Does that help?
Yeah, please, need a fresh one. So show them. This is already written.
Yeah. So we had prepared this so that we can share it with you, but then probably. Okay. So this is the next function is kind of replace. If you want to check out, you can do help. And can you help me? How can we get help on replace? str, right? Which stands for string, which is the type of string dot replace. Because this thing is not connected, so it's going to take. Replace returns a copy with all the occurrence of substring old replaced by new. Replace self old and new. Right? Replace one from the string. Replace old with new. Let's say we have we want to convert this into iOS XE. And we'll say word dot replace with what? Replace with
XE.
okay. Now you asked whether we have a grep kind of function. Return lowest index in S where a substring is found. It returns the position where that string is found. Like in let's take this example. At which position B is occurring. So we can say where dot find B at third position. Now why is it giving third? Where it is occurring in 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth position.
It starts with 0, I think, huh? The first position.
Yes, so that is a concept of indexing strings. Now these are like characters within a string. How does Python remember the position of characters where each character is placed? Using its index. Index is the numbering, and the numbering starts from 0. Now, why they have done that? Probably there could have been some reason. Most of the programming languages indexing starts with 0. That is, the counting starts with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, how will we be able to use that indexing? We can extract any character which is at a specific index by passing that index to something called as index notation. Index notation is like var of 0. It says that from where from this variable called as from the string called as where, get me the character at 0th position. It says it is I. Get me the character which is at 3rd position. It returns B. So that's how when we say find B, we are getting 3.
There is negative indexing also, right?
Yeah.
Can we use this find function, from a log file or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Log file typically, I mean, what you will be doing is you will read the log file using the file operations. You will get list of all the lines into a list. Then traverse through that list using something called as a loops, which we'll be learning. Then for each line, you do something, what you want to do with that line. So within that line, now each line becomes one string. Then whatever operations that you want to do are kind of string operations on that specific line. The same thing you'll repeat for each line within the log file.
Got it.
So indexing is like, let's say we have this word, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this is this forward indexing. They have also given backward indexing just in case we want to traverse the string in reverse direction, right? So this last character becomes -1, -2, -3, -4, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Okay, so this is positive indexing or forward indexing. This is negative indexing or backward indexing. So string of 5 or string of -1, both will be same. Same way, string of 0 or string of -6. So forward indexing will always be from 0. Now, if the length of this string is say n, then forward indexing will be from 0 to n-1. Backward indexing will be from -1 till n -n. Name of -6 will return me P, first one, because this is as good as
0.
Of course, if I don't use print, only this will be printed. This will not be printed. So I'll have to explicitly say print this also, print this also. This is the print function. Okay. Now, there is something called as slicing. slice the
slice.
string. Okay, from this position, let's say till this position we want to slice. Right? So we have to specify starting position and ending position plus 1. Now the starting position is 0, 1, 2. Right? So I'll say name of from 2 till this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So this means that get me the portion of the string from starting from second position up to fifth position without including the fifth character. So this will effectively give us 2 to 4. Right? The last position will not be included for slicing. Right? This is known as slicing. Right? We have sliced the string and extracted a piece of it. This is clear why we are giving 2 to 5. 2 is the starting position. 0, 1, 2. Then if I give 4, fourth one will be excluded. It will give only up to 3. If I want fourth one also, I should go plus 1. It should go up to 5. Okay. So indexing is always from, let's say, starting index S to up to ending index E plus 1. If you want up to E, you should go up to E plus 1. This is clear?
Clear?
Because we could be using
Your voice is breaking, sir. Sir, your voice is breaking.
How's it now?
Still.
Still a bit robotic.
Okay. Probably some network issue. Okay. Let me try to switch. Still the same or better?
Same.
Breaking.
There is a delay. Breaking and delay also.
Okay.
Jitter traffic. Collab guys are here, we are facing problems. We are having some jitter traffic. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's better, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better. And if you can just repeat the last part that you mentioned, that E plus 1, I didn't get that.
Okay. Now, let's say we have a word like this, pythonista. We want to get till Python. right? So first we need to know up to what is the up to which index we want, right? We want from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 5, right? So if you say get me from 0 till 5, right? We get only from 0 to 4, right? So this notation means that from 0 up to 5, that is does not include 5.
Okay.
So we should do +1, whatever position we want, that +1. Now this will exclude 6, get up to 5.
Okay, got it.
Now you see, from beginning, I'm getting till 6th, right? So this is 0. So this is like kind of redundant. So I can skip it. I'll simply say :6. And from the beginning, get me up to 6. This is same as saying this. Okay, let me not this. This is same as now. Here 0 is redundant because from the beginning itself, from the beginning of the string. So I can exclude that as well. Right, both are one and the same. So this is a shorter notation. Now the same way, let's say we want to get from some position up to end of the string. We can specify only the starting index. We can skip the ending index. We can say name of starting from 6 up to end. Okay, this is not executed. Yeah, I forgot to execute this. You see, I made a change here, but I didn't execute the cell. So my name was still containing only up to Python. So that's why I was not getting anything. Now I executed it. Now when I say get me from 6 till end of the string, I get this. Okay, these are just shorter notations. If you want to get from starting up to some position, from some position till end. Is this clear?
Yes.
This. And there are almost converting a list string to list. Now, for some reason, let's say we want to convert this string into a list, right? Name currently is a string, and we want to convert into a list. Name underscore list is equal to list of name. It takes each character, makes it as a member of this list. And vice versa, I can take a name underscore list. String Okay. It has not exactly joined. It has taken this entire thing and wrapped it in a string. So the ideal way of doing it is joining. I should join. Dot list. Okay. So converting from one type to other type is as simple as, let's say, I have a string. Okay. One more interesting thing is the string functions, right? Num is equal to 1. Now, is this a is this a string or a digit?
It's an integer, right?
It's an integer. Anyone disagrees? Or everyone agrees?
Yeah, agree. No, this is a string.
Yeah, this is a string because we are putting it in quotes.
Okay.
So if I say type of it's a string. Now you want to convert this into integer. Let's say. So it's a let's go int is equal to int of 1. See, now it prints without quote.
So what happens if we put a letter along with one, like 1A? So will it only take the numbers in
It
there
throws
or
an
it will
error.
fail?
It throws an error because
Okay.
1A cannot be converted into integer.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where we had seen one of the functions like isDigit comes into picture. So before converting, internally it uses this function num dot isDigit. Should be. One, though it is being represented as a string, it checks what is the value which is stored. Is it 1? It is 1, which means it can be converted into integer. So isDigit returns true. Only if isDigit returns true, it goes ahead and converts. Now, if I say 1A
Okay, so that function is run internally.
internally,
Okay.
but it is available as a built-in function. Now it is false. So this throws an error. Now this function is available for us also to use. So to put the safety checks in place before we do some such operation, let's say we are expecting only digits so that we are converting something into something. We want to put a check. So we'll be making use of this function. Okay, so that is about type conversion. Now, same way into float, float to int, we can do that. Now, age type age will be integer. So I can convert this age underscore f is equal to float of age. So if you observe how the type conversion is happening, let's say you want to convert something into integer. Function to be called is int. You want to convert something into float. Function to be called is float. Whatever is the data type, the same named function will be called, and the value which you are trying to convert is passed. And convert age to float. Float of age. Okay. Yeah. Now different ways of printing strings. Printing will not be printing much, but let's quickly see that. Okay. Let's say we want to print this hi so and so you are so many years old, right? So one way of doing it is hi, right? Now this variable has to come here. And this is a variable printing variables and some static text, right? So far we have seen only printing either static text or variable. Now, if you want to mix both, right? Let's say I want to print some message, hi, so and so. I should use something like this. Hi, variable name. Okay. If this changes, then without making any change to my print statement, the change will reflect because this variable is being printed now. Now, this is fine if I'm just trying to print one variable, but let's say I want to print looks like you are so many years old. Again, I need to start thinking how it is going to look. Hi, Ravi, and then after that I should put a full stop, right? So I should put a full stop, right? So here again the variable will come, so I have to break it plus age. Again, I have to continue my string. I need to give a space, right? Because after a space should come. Yes, old, again full stop. So much I have to worry about to get something happened. Yeah, I'm trying to mix this number and string, right? I'm trying to this plus operation is called as okay, that's a good one. First I'll cover a slightly digress and then go into that. It's equal to 4, e equal to 5, equal to a plus, and what will be C? C will be 9, right?
9. Yeah. Now, D is equal to 4, E is equal to 5, F is equal to now what will be F? 45.
Yeah. Okay. These are numbers. So plus does addition. These are strings plus does something called as concatenation, joining the strings. Okay. Now here what I'm doing is this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, this is a number. So I'm trying to concatenate strings and number. So that's why it is giving an error saying can only concatenate string, not int to string. I can only concatenate string to string. I cannot concatenate string to int. That's what it is saying. So what should we do here? We just learned about
Yeah, so we can use str, right? Convert it to
str
string.
of,
Yeah.
convert it into string, and okay. So, but okay, so that was one thing. When you are trying to mix these operations, we should ensure that all are of same type. Now, that was one point. The other point is, it is so difficult. I need to remember this, that I need to put a dot here, then I need to give a space so that it looks properly. Because of inserting these variables in between, my continuity of building this print statement goes for a toss. Right? So there is a simple way of doing it. I can take this, right, without losing continuity. So I know that name will come here. Age will come here. Right? Name is a string. Right? So I'll say %s. Age is a digit. So I'll say %d.
Will be totally
Acha, okay. So this is somewhat better, right? Hi, placeholder looks like your placeholder years old. And then I'm saying, okay, replace those placeholders with values of these variables. I suppose D should also work. Without, yeah, it works. Okay, so I'm saying %s for this says that, yeah, a string is going to come here. %d says that a number is going to come here. Of course, we can also ultimately, when it's printing, right, since we are using this slightly different way, it converts everything into strings. So that's why both %s and %d seem to be working. So this is slightly simplified version of printing, so that we don't lose continuity of building this high %s. So these are kind of placeholders. And then we are saying what should come in these placeholders. So this is one way. There is another better way, right?
So
Instead
here
of-
the age is converted into string.
Yes,
Means when you do a
automatically
percentage.
converted
Okay.
into a string. So that's what this says. %s says that, yeah, even if it's a number, since I'm saying %s, convert that and then print it.
So,
Now, another,
Ravi, how will we achieve, like, I want to print the age after high, like high 40 looks like you are Ravi years old. So how will I achieve with this method? Okay, cool.
first placeholder will take first value. Second placeholder will take second value. Now, even a better way is, I'll put this kind of placeholder instead of this. And then say dot, there's a function called as format. So I'm saying, yeah, hi, placeholder, looks like your placeholder, your sort, format, name, and age. Which means this is a string, sorry. This is a string with placeholders. Format this string by replacing these values into those placeholders. So again, it should be wrapped inside there. Okay, so instead of percentage yes, and then again putting this, so you see these two are kind of disjoint now. There is no connectivity between them. A slightly better version is you make a string with placeholders, these kind of placeholders, and then format that string by replacing these variable values in place of placeholders.
Normally, for writing huge scripts, we use this method.
Now, even better way is there, right? Without this, without worrying about this double parentheses, wrapping inside all that, you start writing print. But before starting, you say this is going to be a formatted string by putting an F. And then start your string. You see, the moment I said F, and then my string is going to start, the color of F changed, which means it's a directive to the interpreter. So this is not a normal string, this is a formatted string. Now I can, without any worry, I can start typing. Hi, what should come? Name. Looks like you are age. Yes. Okay. This is known as formatted string because it is starting with F. Now there are other types, like there is something like raw and binary, which are used for different purposes. So like this is formatted string. Okay, if no doubts on, of course, strings are very vast if you want to try out all those functions, but I hope you got a feel of what are strings and how to play around with those strings, how to check what are the different functions which are available, and how you can call those functions and check what is happening. Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we'll move.
We got it right now, but maybe you can give us a task, like something to
Sure,
do.
sure. The lab is going to be there.
Okay.
Lab will have a kind of a problem which will be using some of the string methods to solve it.
Everything will be used when we are doing the lab. So that's why we are, separating this topic where you master this, little bit here and there, formatting of a string. So it will be very useful when we are doing the labs.
Yeah, I know, unless there's a task, right? Going on trying method by method is going to get very boring.
Right.
Okay. Now we'll quickly cover lists because lists are like pretty much similar to strings except the way they are defined. Okay. Lists are like very useful, very versatile collection of very versatile data type, which is used in Python to store collection. Basically, like you have a list of IP addresses. Right? Now, IP address is single. List of IP addresses is collection. So to store one IP address, you use string. To store multiple IP addresses, you use list. list of IP addresses, list of strings. Okay. Now list contains items wrapped in square brackets. This is just a notation. Now you need to somehow differentiate how a string looks versus how a list looks, right? So they chose, okay, a list will look like this. It is elements of a list will be enclosed in square brackets separated by comma. Like this, L1 is equal to square brackets A comma B comma C. Now A comma B comma C are the members of this list. Now, lists are similar to arrays in other programming languages. You would have heard this term if you are familiar with other programming languages. Array. Array is a collection similar to list. But one major difference is in arrays, let's say if it's you need to have all the elements of the same data type. So if it's an array of strings, you need to have only strings. If it's an array of integers, you need to have only integers. But Python list is like very flexible. Within a Python list, you can have strings, integers, floating point values, lists themselves, right? Another list also can be part of one list, right? You can have mix and match of data types, elements of different data types. So that is the speciality of this data type called as list. So elements of list can be integers, strings, other lists themselves. Then another data type called as tuple. So all of them can be part of the list. Right? Now, when it comes to indexing, similar to strings, Python lists are also indexed the same way. Instead of positive index from 0 till n-1, negative index -1 till n. And the way you access elements of a list is also same using the index notation. List of 0 will give you first element and so on. Okay, now let's switch to list. Yeah. So this is like creating a list of numbers, list of integers. Okay, a list is printed. So when we split the string, right? So this is what we had got. So if we had a string, we got a list. So that was a list. Okay, now we can add two lists. If you have two lists, we can add them. It acts like a concatenation. So this plus it takes first one, it appends, it extends this with second list. Accessing lists is using index notation. Let's say I want third element, right? How will I get? This is correct. I should do 2 because indexing starts from 0. Okay, this is pretty much similar to your strings. Slicing is also pretty much the same. Let's say you have a list of routers and switches. Okay. You want to get only routers. Okay. So it's a L1 of colon from the beginning till third. Sorry, I forgot that it is from 0. The second. Okay, switches I'll get from 2 to end of list. Okay, pretty much similar to strings slicing. Negative indexing also is the same. We've already seen. Yeah. Now, concatenation, the plus operation is one thing that we have seen. In addition, it all lists also give some useful functions for performing different things like extend, append. Let's see what is the difference. Again, if you want to find out all the functions which are available on list, which function we need to use? List is a new data type. Now I don't know what all I can do with list. So which function can I use to check that? Dir of list. So I get a list of all the functions. These are double underscore all internal stuff. I can ignore them. Append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort. A pretty neat list of few functions which are useful. Right? Reverse, you can use to reverse a list in the reverse order. Sort, right? Let's say they are not in a sorted order. We can use this to sort. Insert an element. Find an index of an element. Extend a list with another list. Append one list to another list. Clear the list. Delete the elements. Copy one list into another list. Okay. Let's see some of them. Now you have right. You have one list of IP addresses. First IP address, second IP address, third IP address. What is this list? This is a list of strings, right? This is a string, this is a string, this is a string. Comma is what you need to look for. Comma is the element separator. Every element of the list is separated by a comma. Okay. Now this is the second list. Now this list has only one element, right? Because there is no comma. This list has 3 elements. This list has 1 element. Now let's say I want to merge them both. I want to merge them both. I can use a function called as extend. So I'll say IPs dot extend mask, or the other way. So you see this function is modifying the original object.
Yeah.
So extend is like take the elements and make them part of the other one. If I have another first list followed by second list. Now let's see what happens if you use append.
So here it is changing the original variable, right?
Yes.
Like, means it is altering it.
Yes. So that's why we need to know which functions actually modify your original stuff, which functions do not, so that we can decide whether to copy it into a new variable or just perform that and then continue using the same old variable. Actually, with experience, right? You by looking at the kind of function, you will know whether it is going to make a change to the original. Now, the function is like extend. Obviously, we are saying list extend list one with list two. So it's obvious that it's going to modify. Of course, with Python, you can never be so sure. It is it's a very strange programming language. IPs dot append mask. So you see, append, what it has done, it has taken the list of masks and simply made it as another member of the IPs. It has not exactly broken this list and taken these elements and put them in the list. It took the entire list and added it as another element of this list. Okay, that is the difference between extend and append. Append one list to the other, take this entire list and make it as an element of the first list. Extend is take the elements of this list, extend the list of first list with elements of the second list.
Append means it made it as a nested list, right? List into list.
Yes, list inside a list. So this is a kind of nested list. Right. So in the beginning, we learned that yes, your list can consist of mixed types. So here, this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, this is a list. Center is starting from here. It is a list. I can also have a number here. I can also have floating. I can also have something called as a tuple. We'll be seeing what is a tuple. This is very useful when we want to store different things of, let's say, a router, right? We want to store the name of the router. We want to store the OS version of the router, IP address, list of interfaces, right? So I can store something like here is equal to name will be R1. Version will be like, let's say, iOS something. Then list of interfaces. G0.0. One 0/1. So in that sense, it is let's say OS version 16. Any questions so far?
No.
Yeah. One thing, there is something called mutable and immutable. Right. So I had a string, right? It's one. Now we say that strings are immutable, which means once they are created, they cannot be altered. The string which I just created cannot be altered. In the sense, I cannot just one of, let's say 3. I can extract 3. I cannot replace this 3 with something else. Right? So it says you cannot put some value into the string at any index, at some index. So this is called as immutable. Once the string is created, we cannot modify it. But lists are mutable. Now I have this list, which means once they are created, they can be changed. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Right? Here one of. Let's say the version has changed. Here one of b is equal to 7. So the list is modified with the new value. This we call it as mutable, which means even if it's after it's created, we can modify its elements. This is clear. We cannot modify the elements of a string once it's created, whereas once a list is created, we can modify its elements by doing this kind of assignment. Of course, I can always modify this string using those replace functions, right? But then what am I doing? I'm creating a new string, not the original string is intact. I'm not modifying the original string, I'll be creating a new string. Now, how can I do that? I have my str1. It says Python. Don't replace with h with this thing. So it's str1 dot place. Right? My original string has not been modified. Okay, so that is mutability and immutability. Okay, so I have something like this. I can replace this with something else. Yeah. Now, in the beginning, we saw the delete function, right? We were wondering why the delete function was given. Right? Suppose I have this list, not the one. Right? Let's say I've created this, and or rather say it is coming from somewhere, but for my purposes, I don't need this. I don't need the last element, or I don't need the interfaces. I just need a name, this and this, right? So I can use delete function to delete something from here. Here. So I'll say del one of which let's say I want to get rid of this list of interfaces. 1, 0, 1, 2. Second element I should take it. Okay, so that is the one of the uses of delete function method. This is not a method itself as such. This is a kind of statement, delete statement. Okay. Now there is another way I can do this, right? Let me go back to my post. There is something called pop in the list of functions we had seen. Pop. Pop is like pops an element out of the list. I want to pop this element.
There's some kind of background noise coming from your end. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So let's say I want to pop this element out of this list. So I'll say here one dot pop, which element to be popped? 0, 1, 2. Okay. Now the end result is same. So what is the difference between this del and this pop? If you see, when I executed this del statement, the output was nothing. But when I executed this pop, the output is this, which means pop is returning me the element which is popped. Right? Pop method is returning me the element which has been popped, which means I can capture it if I want to do something with the interfaces, right? INVFs. I can store the value which is being popped into another variable. And if I feel it's going to be useful. INVFs, why is printing this? Oh, sorry. This element has already been popped, so next this element got popped. Let me get original list. Then let me pop second element. Now my interfaces is going to be this. Okay, so we will use del when we don't want the element which we just want to delete that element and get rid of it. We'll use pop when we want to take out some element, but store it somewhere for maybe some later usage. Okay. Now, just like pop, we have insert. Okay. Now, I want to put back the thing which I have popped. For the time being, temporarily, I want to remove some element and then do something with the list and then put the old element back. So I'll say dot insert. RTR1 dot insert and FCs. I should just specify at which position to insert. That was at position 0, 1, 2. I got back my original list. So insert is like insert an element into the list at some index. So for insert, we need to specify two things: the place where to insert and what to insert. Okay.
Is there a way we can refer to, like, in the inserted list? Can we is there a way to point out to that individual party, like G0/0? Can we
Yes.
is
Yes.
there a way like 2.1
Because
or something?
because this itself is a list, right? Interfaces itself is a list, right? There's a list of lists. So now how will you reach till here? RTR 1 of 2, right? RTR 1.
Suppose I want to print G0/0.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. RTR 1 of 2 is your this. Now this itself is a list.
Okay.
In this, you want to refer to
Right.
first element, right? So I'll do of 0.
Okay. Okay.
Because this is list of lists, nested list. We need to use nested indexing.
Got it.
But the indexing, everything remains same. So you need to keep checking. Okay, RTR1 is a list. Now within RTR1, second index will return me another list. Now this entire thing is a list. On that list, I'm applying indexing and getting either 0th element, first element, and so on. Then reverse and sort are straightforward. We'll take an unsorted array, list. Okay. They're not in a sorted order. So we'll say A1 dot sort. So is this going to modify the original array or not? I don't know. So let's try it out. It does.
Okay.
And A1 dot reverse. Now in Collab, another useful feature is you type partly and then hit Control space bar or wait for some time. It itself shows. Oh, sorry. Oops. Control space bar will prompt. Okay. Unsorted, sorted, reversed. This we have seen. Then printing selected elements is pretty much the same. You can, using index, we can extract them and then use in any of our favorite print statements. Converting list into a string is using join function. Yeah. Copying lists. This is very interesting. Let's borrow this. Okay. Now I have one list. One way I can copy is this into another list is A1, A2 is equal to A1. I'm creating a new variable called A2 and putting A1 into that. Okay. What this does is, this is called as copy by reference, which means it has not exactly made a copy of my list. It simply copied the address location. It simply created another variable pointed to the same address location. right? In memory, we had this list 1, 2, 3, 4. This is pointed to by a memory location with some address. Now A1 is pointing to this. This in turn is pointing to the list. When I did A2 is equal to A1, what it did, it created a variable A2, simply pointed to this. How will I know whether it has done this kind of a thing? Let's check. A1. So I'm saying is A1 exactly same as A2? It says true. There is also another is function. A1 is A2. It says yes. Then let's print IDs. Print ID. A1. Exactly the same. 1397239. So both are exactly pointing to same same memory location. But what is the impact? Right? Let's say I thought, okay, I created a copy and I'm modifying A2, right? A2 of the second element I'm replacing with, it says 0. A2 of 0, A2 of 2 is equal to 0. I modified A2. But then A1 also got modified. Makes sense because both are pointing to the same memory location. Any change that you make to A2 will also cause change to A1. All this happened because we simply did this. A2 is equal to A1. We took A1 and put it into A2, which did a copy by reference. Okay. Why I'm stressing on this is this can have unintended side effects. If you thought, okay, you're making a copy and then modify the second thing, the first thing also gets modified because you have not made a copy, you have just created another reference and pointed to the same thing. But then how do we make a copy? There's a copy function, right? In the list of functions we had seen, there's a copy function. A2 is equal to A1 dot copy. Okay, this is what we should do. Now let's check A1, A2. Yes, A1. Are the values of both same? Yes. Are they exactly one and the same? No.
No. So they will point out to different blocks in the memory, right?
Yes.
They would.
Yes. If you check the IDs now, IDs will be different. And the modifications that you do to one will not impact other. Currently, this. Right. Let's say you want to modify A2 of so only A2 will change. A1 is intact.
Okay.
Anyone Hope this is clear. So if you want to make a copy of a list or something, you should use the copy function.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just doing that.
Okay, Ravin, can we stop this session
Yeah, sure,
now
sure.
because I have to.
And
Okay.
also, Ravi, since it's like Friday, man, we have the weekend, available for anybody. Can we get some kind of small task so that we can practice all the things that we have learned in the last 2 days?
Sure, sure. I'll send everything. I'll send the recording links. I'll send notes.
Some exercise, send some exercise on strings
Yes,
and
yes.
lists.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
also
so
an exercise task.
yeah,
So
task.
that
Okay.
you can utilize the weekend to revise what we have learned and also apply it to solve that.
And believe me, guys, it's very useful. It's very useful.
Yeah, because I have understood so far everything, but until I practice, I won't be able to remember.
No, you have to practice. You have
Yes,
to
yes,
practice.
yes,
I
yes.
remember my days when I started 5 years ago. I struggled a lot. And this things really helps you.